I'm Jason Davis. Come along on the road with us to meet some of Minnesota's most talented and creative people.
When we go on the road, there's a place I want to see. When we go on the road, why don't you come with me? Take a little ride, get a little windshield time. When we go on the road.
We all know what a stained glass window looks like, right? Well, you might be surprised to learn that most of them are not stained glass at all. We'll get an expert artist to explain a little later. Also tonight, we'll spend some time with a man who practices a trade that goes back hundreds, if not thousands of years. And as you will see, the techniques have hardly changed. Another ancient craft is taxidermy. You'll meet one of the world's best at recreating some of our most beautiful birds. He's right here in Minnesota. If you'd like a life-size metal statue of yourself, you can't do better than call on a sculptor we met who's more comfortable with a welding torch than a slab of clay. And we'll take you to a store where you can equip yourself for the hereafter with a harp made right here on Earth. But we begin our look at some of Minnesota's most creative people with a man who puts his heart, soul, and art into an object we often take for granted. When we arrived at the lakeside home of 68-year-old Chris Christofek, everything was still in the icy grip of a too long winter. Boat and dock still frozen to the ground.
This one's kind of neat too.
Isn't it? Yeah. And fishing poles still in the rack. But these are no plain old store-bought rods. They are masterpieces, handcrafted by one of the world's finest custom fishing rod builders.
Something that the manufacturers, rod building manufacturers, don't do because it's time consuming.
It can take many hours for one of these beauties to be finished to the high standards that this artist imposes on himself. 7 to 10 hours, depending on the complexity of the rod. And they can be incredibly complex. Starting with plain black high-tech carbon fiber rod blanks, Chris carefully winds on a variety of different colored threads to hold and dress up the guides. One of his specialities is the addition of tiny scraps of feathers, like those from a hunted or domestic golden pheasant. The naturally iridescent colors add a unique touch to this salmon rod ordered by a client in Alaska.
There'll be another coat of epoxy that will go over that whole thing, which will smooth it out. It'll be just like glass.
These rods are special not only because they are works of art, but because each one is tailor-made to fit the buyer.
I ask the client to measure his hand and his arm for me so that I can build a handle to fit his hand.
Chris assembles each rod handle from multiple rings of material like cork or even birch bark. Turned on a lathe, smoothed with sandpaper.
And that is just as smooth as it can be. That's very, very nice.
And finished with teak oil. Each one is different and special.
It's unique. It's a one of a kind.
And if you're wondering whether it's worth paying about $450 for a custom-made fishing rod, just ask 7-year-old Benjamin Rudnicki. He caught this 12.5-pound walleye on a pole made by his grandpa, Chris Christofek.
This was his first walleye as well, so he thinks they're all that big.
That was quite a fish. Not too many people can claim to have a business that goes back thousands of years. But on the way to Brainerd, we met a man who practices an ancient craft and even makes money doing it. When we drove onto the Holm family property just south of Brainerd, Minnesota, it was obvious that whoever lived here is tidy, organized, and in charge of their own destiny. It is the home of elementary school gym teacher Chad Holm, who, when he's not putting kids through their physical paces, is one of the country's few experts in the art of longbow making. Chad Holm is a bowyer. an ancient craft that goes back hundreds, if not thousands of years.
I started making bows, and they were real primitive at first. And then I started getting more equipment and getting better at it. And then my friends wanted me to make them a bow, and pretty soon it kind of turned into a hobby business.
A business that has taken off since enthusiasts from around the country learned that in Brainerd, Minnesota was a man who could turn out perfectly balanced, custom-made longbows that are state-of-the-art.
They could choose any one of 150 different bowyers in the country, but they want to buy it from a bowyer that they like and they feel that they know.
Not too many people make longbows like this. Not only are they among the best that the world of archery has to offer, but they're truly works of art. We may not have the best mountains, beaches, or weather in the world, but Minnesota does get first prize for some things, and we found a good example of that when we went on the road to St. Cloud. Minnesota's strategic location between the tropics and the Canadian and Arctic nesting grounds means we see millions of colorful birds migrate through our state twice a year. Many stay for the summer, some don't, but even their fleeting presence always brightens our lives. Especially the life of this guy, Jerry Froelich, the best waterfowl taxidermist in the world. Jerry's attention to detail and order is obvious when you see him at work. You'd never guess, seeing his immaculate workshop, that he's a taxidermist and an artist who loves birds.
I had a pigeon coop right out here and raised ducks and geese all my life.
His work is stunning. Birds in a natural pose and some in a creative setting that looks just like wet rocks and seaweed. Others in flight, paddling, or just strutting.
So I can move the bird however I want, and you'll see how that all flows once I get the head on there.
His amazing creations begin with a simple form that will eventually be clothed with the skin and the feathers of a bird.
If a bird is standing, it looks like this. When he rests, it goes down, feeds.
Only the beak and eyes are not real.
It's never a solid color.
The attention to detail by this master craftsman makes the birds come alive. The showroom is a blaze of color. Look closely and you can see the almost luminous iridescence of every feather.
I think where I excel in bird taxidermy is making them look lifelike. I wanted to get more motion, and that's where you gotta really know your anatomy.
Coming up, we'll visit a couple who can make you a custom-made container for your final ashes. And a metal artist who will design and build a statue of yourself out of stainless steel. Can we get up here? Welcome back to our travels around Minnesota in search of all things creative.
I do.
Customers at a coffee shop in New Ulm, Minnesota are often quite surprised to find an unusual line of products on sale inside the store. So we went on the road to find out why one good urn deserves another. This story starts with a hair-raising ride deep into the dense brush on Tim Standaffer's 14 acres. Can we get up here? Just south of Belle Plaine, Minnesota.
You must really want this wood. I do.
A 200-pound log cut from an old downed tree is perfect.
It's a fine piece of birch here. Yeah. That'll make some awesome urns. We'll try taking 3 of them back.
Back through the woods, across the creeks, and up and down the hills, to Tim's garage and makeshift workshop. This is where the process begins to turn the natural hardwoods into objects that resemble artistic bowls and vases, but are really containers of quite a different sort.
Then I make a top and a bottom, put it all together. This is the payoff. Nice, huh?
It all began when Tim and his sister Laurie, who owns a coffee shop in New Ulm, Minnesota, decided they needed a special wooden urn for their mother's ashes.
It would be nice to have something beautiful, something that was a little more artistic.
You could make much more beautiful ones because he's been a woodworker all his life.
Tim, who used to teach industrial arts, made a wooden urn for his mother, and they just kept going. Laurie saw a business opportunity.
A piece of art that you buy ahead of time and place in your home like a painting.
If we could sell one a day, that would be enough for both of us to, survive.
Tim and Laurie now have formed a little company called Journey Urns, and that explains why in this quaint little coffee shop in New Ulm, Minnesota, you can pick up a latte and something for your ashes at the same time. This is a business where size really does count. No two of Tim's urns are alike, and they all have different capacities.
You only need 1 cubic inch per pound a person.
When a Minnesota metal artist was asked to create a life-size statue, it was a first for both buyer and seller. And as we discovered, the finished work turned out to be something very special. It's not often you can spot a moose along the highways and byways of Minnesota, but there's only one place you can see one made out of stainless steel. This 5-acre property near Breezy Point is the home and workshop of 50-year-old Jeff Kreitz, a metalworker turned artist turned metalworker. A lot of the work done here is architectural, like the components for a long ornamental iron fence for a Minneapolis home.
So there's 2,200 of these we have to pound out.
But Jeff Kreitz manipulates metal in most unusual ways and comes up with striking works of art, like this Veterans Memorial for a local cemetery. He says it represents all branches of the services, and both men and women. The holes in the sculpture have special significance.
The emotional and physical wounds that you come back if you come back from war.
But it is his latest work that this self-described blue-collar artist is most excited about.
I've always wanted to do something like this and give it a try.
The commission was to create a lifelike statue of a woman holding an injured bird. But Jeff Kreitz had never done anything like that before.
It's a leap of faith for them to come to some local guy and say, oh yeah, I'm going to build a bronze sculpture for you. I got to build it though. We got to build this piece.
Building on an internal metal frame, hundreds of pieces of bronze plate had to be carefully welded together, ground and polished. It was a long and difficult process.
10 working days just to do the hair.
In fact, it took 900 working hours before the statue first saw the light of day.
The title is Fly Away, and it's like a wounded bird being released.
It is, says Jeff, his finest work. His masterpiece of bronze so finely crafted that there's no mistaking what it is.
In the shape of a woman is just a beautiful thing.
The statue is almost complete and the local owners will soon take delivery. A work of art that's changed the life of the man who created it.
I'm doing it. This is the dream.
What most of us think of as stained glass isn't that at all. We'll explain when we come back. It is the largest selection of glass for hundreds of miles, at least 10,000 pieces, more than 5,000 colors, and not a piece of stained glass in the lot. And we learned this from Mike Mason, the owner of this business in Sleepy Eye, Minnesota, a man who really knows his stained from his art. It's an inconspicuous little business in a small Minnesota town. Owned and operated by 72-year-old Mike Mason, who began working with glass as a hobby 30 years ago.
I love my job.
Today, this friendly chatterbox of a guy just loves to restore old church windows.
It's a neat thing to do.
Mike's spacious workshop and store has become well known throughout the upper Midwest for a number of reasons.
You gotta be cheaper than anybody else, and I can afford to. It's low overhead.
A full 30% lower than big city prices to rebuild windows or make stunning wall hangings.
If I don't have to make more money at it, it's just not right to charge more.
The St. John the Baptist Church in Mankato, Minnesota will soon have 88 windows resized by Mike for its new addition. In Cortland, Minnesota, the Emmanuel Lutheran Church boasts spectacular windows, all restored and rebuilt by Mike Mason. And he has no problem finding just the right shade of glass to match. The store is full of sheets of art glass in a bewildering array of finishes. Clear and opaque, rippled and mixed. This is the raw material that enthusiasts and artists cut up to produce what most of us call stained glass.
That is a piece of stained glass. Truly stained glass, because it is painted, stained, and fired in a kiln.
Stained or art, Mike is never happier than when he's rebuilding 125-year-old windows that he has rescued.
They're church windows. Don't know where they came from, but they're going to be nice windows again.
Mike Mason's restorations are popular with homeowners, architects, and antique dealers. And they can all be sure he won't be charging too much.
I don't need to. I enjoy this too much.
If you'd like more information about any of the stories you've seen tonight, just go to our website at KSTP.com, select Only on 5, scroll down, and look for On the Road. Still to come, a look at an unusual business that might just give you a head start in the afterlife. Maybe you could call it Harp Heaven. A very unusual workshop where some of the finest instruments in the world are made, and it's right here in Minnesota. Come on the road with us to Red Wing to meet the owners of Stony End Harps, Gary and Eve Stone.
So I want to make sure I've got the good side showing on both sides. I like to feel the smell, the dust. This saves on the wrist. Here's your harp shape to it. Now we have a part that's the exact shape that we want.
62-year-old Gary Stone is one of the top lever harp makers in the country, and his instruments are sold all over the world.
And the best harps are made here in the U.S.
But this is no factory of mass production.
If it's a market for enough harps, the Chinese would make them.
Gary and a couple of skilled craftsmen hand make every one.
Made about 7,000 now. In 25 years I've been making harps.
Gary's partner is his wife of more than 40 years, Eve.
And our harps are known for their great sound.
All the harps have been named after family members or friends like Rebecca, Bronwyn, or Brittany.
This is a Brittany harp. My other daughter, Brittany.
The building is a 100-year-old hip-roof barn that Gary and Eve restored to house the workshop on the ground floor, a retail store that sells all kinds of folk instruments on the next level, and above that...
This third floor is our concert hall here, where we have musical events.
Stony End Harps is a popular stop for tour groups who get to meet both Gary and Eve Stone. It's good public relations, and there's always the chance there might be a sale in it.
Someone will say, oh, I went to this place, and they have marvelous looking harps, and they'll say, oh, I've always wanted to play a harp. So you never know.
The Stones say harps are special because players hold them so close to their chests.
Part of playing and hearing a harp is the fact that it has those wonderful vibrations.
The vibrations pass right into your body, and your fingers are right on the strings.
Gary Stone's harps range in price from about $700 to $2,500, depending on size and setup.
We make a good value harp. It's not the most expensive or the fanciest, but I think it's got the best value.
They make it look easy, but the more creative people we meet on the road, the more we realize that talent is a rare and precious thing. We can only envy and admire those among us who share their skills to make the lives of the rest of us a little richer. I'm Jason Davis. Drive carefully, and we'll see you next week.